All right, we're back. A little bit of technical difficulties going in. We all know and love the Riot client, but again, we have Mark versus Logan with Echo and Irelia.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting matchup, like I was saying before. And taking a look at the runes, we have Electrocute versus PTA. So both of these things, that the PTA is going to favor Irelia if she's able to get those extended fights along with her passive as well. She's going to be able to keep stacking that up into minion waves, and as well as keeping those stacks active in a long fight, while PTA is just continually ramping up her damage more and more. Versus Electrocute is the exact opposite. Echo is going to want to get in. He's going to want to get a short EQ or sorry QE auto trades and then back out. If he gets stuck into a long extended fight, if he gets Irelia ulted, if he gets Irelia stunned, he's gonna be in for a world of hurt, especially in these early game, especially in the early game pre level 6. So he has to be very careful as we are gonna get into this here. And then he's even still in base for the first wave. Looks like.
I think he TC'd.
Oh boy.
Apparently, he got back in. Oh my
Okay.
god. So many. The stream went flawlessly until now, and then once we use, add in one more element, apparently it goes all downhill. But yeah. Uh, Excited to see
Is
what happens. What are your predictions for this early? Who's gonna take it? Who's gonna win?
I personally believe the Aurelia is going to pull through and win. Although we'll have to see with the mastery point difference. A good Echo can do a lot of damage, especially in the early game, if he knows how to respect the early levels. It looks like we're going
So
to see a little bit of little bit of respect here. Fair play. Not getting experience from the Aurelia as we're waiting for Echo to get back in the lane.
I'm curious. What do you think about the refillable? I mean, I don't know. I feel like you should have went deep blade, maybe. I mean, the refillable can be strong to
Is
outpace
backing
people's
allowed in this
foot.
challenge?
No backing.
So that's that. Yeah, that's interesting for sure. I really can have a lot of mana problems as she's trying to stack up waves with her Q. But typically, again, that's going to be happening in these extended fights. Oh, she started E even. Okay,
Oh, that's.
interesting.
I mean, I think it's the right play. Maybe you hit level 2 first, and then you have the E, and then you can like double Q. Because I think 1v1 W is kind of like really, like especially with the audio resets. But I think that's just my idea of why he went E first.
Okay, yeah, and we're just seeing a bit of farming up here. As far as that goes, I think I would have liked to see the Q first to try and get a little bit of a first wave cheese. If he was able to poke out the Echo onto that first wave, provided there's no disconnect there, he could have done a lot of damage and put him in a really precarious spot, especially with only the two potion start versus his refillable. Plus, looks like he's got biscuits as well, so he's gonna be looking to stay in this lane alive for as long as possible.
Yep. Looks like they're just farming up. I expected to see a lot bloodier of a early game, but I'm thinking maybe they're just gonna hit six as we have a play going on.
Yeah. Echo is able to get a great trade off, getting the stun with his W onto Irelia. This is what I was talking about. Oh, there's the stun.
Oh, he
Counter
took a
stun going
threat
in. Taking
shot.
a tower shot, though. That could be the difference there. But
Oh,
flashing in. Both players going down to the Ignite last second. But it looks like.
I really went down first, so that's gonna be a win for Logan.
Nope.
Yep. So we're gonna take a quick break as we get the second game underway, and we'll be right back. All right, we are back. This is going to be the second game of the quote unquote semifinals. We're having Braza versus Vex. Um, I'm excited to see this. Volibear versus Lucian. I think Lucian definitely has the edge, but what do you think, Mike?
Yeah, no. Any range into melee matchup is definitely going to be favored. Absolutely. And Lucian, we know it can be played in these tops and middle lanes because of how much mobility he has. If Volibear tries to run at him, he's going to dash away. So long as he's not using that dash forward aggressively, unless Volibear is very low HP, this should be a pretty easy lane for Lucian, I would think.
Yep, I'm excited to see it. I mean, we don't have to wait out the spectator delay. We just got to wait out a few seconds for the last 4 seconds for the client, and then we'll get into the loading screen. But yeah, really excited to see what's going to happen here. I personally, out of Volibear Lucian, I like Volibear. He's one of my top 3 highest mastery points champion. I played Volibear back in season 5, really. Trick 2G fanboy for those who've been following League of Legends for a long time. So Udyr and Volibear are my top. I think Udyr is my number one. Then it's Volibear. Then it's Darius. But uh, ooh, what do you think about the summoners for Lucian?
Yeah, so that's what I was talking about. You are going to have the flash advantage in the early game for the Volibear. However, the exhaust is going to come in a huge play. He's going to catch the Volibear, I suspect, very off guard. He's going to be trying to click the flash in and then finish off the Lucian. And then he's going to get hit by an exhaust and lose all of his damage. So it could be very dangerous, especially if Bruiser here is able to hold on to Lucian's dash and only use it defensively. He doesn't really need the flash, especially into this matchup where there's not a great gap closing ability already onto the Volibear pre level 6.
All right. Real question is Doran's ring start on Volibear.
Yeah, so Volibear actually has a lot of AP scalings in his kit. If you're not trying to be building him for the late game, trying to become this super tank for your team, AP Volibear can do a ton of damage, especially if you're not respecting it. So I think that's a great start. It's going to scale up with his E. It's going to do a little bit extra damage for him. Going to give him a little bit bigger of a shield, which is definitely going to help in the 1v1 aspect we got going on here. A little bit of dancing going on in the mid lane. Players having a bit of fun as they wait for creeps to flow in. But yeah, no, I think this is great. I like both these builds. It's definitely
Oh
going to
my
be
god,
hard.
he took a turret shot.
Bruise out the disrespect.
Yeah,
He,
so
he,
quick
he knows that
question.
range.
Quick question
Yeah.
in chat was posed if Emilio's playing tonight. So for the GG League game, I think the starting roster for the first game is going to be definitely Mark top, Braza jungle. Or I guess I'm saying they're like league games. Uh, the Spanish Prodigy top, Braza jungle, Tempest Natsu mid, Kendrick Lamar who is Logan ADC, and then for support we're probably going to have William support, and then we're going to swap it up for the second game.
We already see both the flash and ignite coming out from the Volibear. He dove onto Bruiser, just trying to get a little bit of damage onto his Lucian here. With both those
Honestly,
summoners down, it's going to be very hard for Volibear to get a kill off. And look, the HP is already pretty much equalized. Volibear is going to have a little bit of extra healing because he's got 2 potions versus the 1. Uh, although Bruiser's going to be able to safely farm up at a distance and just regen that health over time with his lifesteal from the Doran's Blade.
oh yeah. So I honestly think this is favorite. I mean, how he doesn't have ignite, but I think it's favorite if Volibear can land Q E W in a trade. That's gonna be huge. And then after that, just try to get an all in. I think it could actually be really, really good for the Volibear. So gonna have
Yeah.
to watch out for that.
And see that is the trade that I was talking about. As soon as Volibear drops on all fours and starts running at the Lucian, Lucian just gonna back off. He's gonna press E, dash backwards, say, "Nope, actually, I'm just quite a little bit out of your range." He just has to play back and keep his distance. If he's able to manage the distance and keep that spacing a constant, there's no way without flash that this Volibear is gonna be able to get on top of him or pre-level 6 as well.
Now this might be a dead Volibear here.
Yep, there's the ignite coming through and finishing him off easy with a little bit extra PTA damage.
Yep. And that is going to be the second game of the semis, and we're going to go over to the finals. I think we do have time for a best of 3 for the finals, which is going to be Logan versus Breza. All right. We are back. Finals of this short little 1v1 tournament between the LTU club members, but we do have a signature champion for Enrique, and that's the Lee Sin. Thoughts?
Yeah, the Lee Sin is definitely going to be very interesting here. Now, again, so Pantheon, I think, is actually favored into the all in and into melee matchups. So this is going to be very hard for Bruise's Lee Sin to stay alive if Pantheon is able to all in him and get a nice stun, followed up by his E can do a ton of damage. Especially, I assume they're going to be taking PTA, at least onto the Pantheon side. We'll see what Keystone Enrique goes for here. That's going to matter a lot into these 1v1s. With the electrocute, okay,
Oh my
and I
god,
do like
dude!
it.
Look at their their summoners. They got the same runes. Look, even almost the same mastery points. Both at almost a little bit more than 300k. So they're seasoned on these champions.
Yeah, absolutely, and I really do like we saw how well the exhaust ignite worked in the last game, and neither one of these champions have mobility issues. Lee Sin, we know, can get all around the lane if he wants to, with between his ward hops, his Q dashing, Eventually, if we do see this getting to level 6, he can kick someone across, follow him right back up after. And Pantheon a lot of the same way with his jumping on the champions and stunning them. Like he does not need the flash to be able to get on top of this Lee Sin, especially as these are both melee champions. They're going to be in very close proximity, trying to get that CS and trying to stay equal in that farm as we go on here. So yeah, this is going to be very close. And I really do like the electrocute as well. They're going to have so much burst damage. Neither one of these champions neither one of these players here are going to know their champion is going to want to get stuck in a long skirmish. So the PTA is not going to get procced against the Lee Sin. So I really respect the Pantheon's choice here of taking the electrocute, just trying to get a little bit more burst damage, as the Lee Sin is going to want to jump away as soon as Pantheon initiates it.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting. Look like you're having a little bit of a slow loading screen here. Uh, I haven't heard any word from the player, so I still think it's going on. It just looks like, like I said, we all love the Riot Games client. But yeah, I think we're gonna take a quick break so I can double check to make sure everything is okay on our end. Shouldn't be too long, but we'll be right back after I double check on everything. All right, we are back. More technical difficulties on our end, but we had to switch out Logan for Mark, so we're gonna have Mark versus Enrique with the Irelia versus Riven matchup.
All right, yeah, this is definitely gonna be interesting. We see the armor being broken there off of the Riven already. That's gonna be a very interesting. Since that rune there has such a long cooldown on it, that she's not going to be able to have that in a lot of the skirmishes and a lot of the fights, especially if the Aurelia is able to poke them out. And we see a couple of backs going down.
Yep. So that the bone plating, like you said, is really strong. So maybe that's potentially some of the strategy behind the Aurelia. You go in, you get the E, you get the stun, you get the bone plating, and that's a huge advantage because bone plating can reduce like probably 100 damage, and in a 1v1 scenario, that can that can be a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so we're going to have to see if the Aurelia is able to play around that. I'm sure she'll be able to proc it very easily, especially with how aggressive it looks like Bruza is trying to be. If you see the E starting again from the Irelia, so she is actually going to be a little bit weaker on this level 1 compared to the Riven here. So she's going to have to be very careful, and she's not going to be able to get very easy stacks. And there's that bone plating down again for that Riven.
Yep. So I kind of favor Riven because Riven as a 1v1 champion, you can disrupt the Irelia Q. If you interrupt that and she doesn't get the reset, that's potentially a huge amount of damage that Irelia's not gonna have. As looks like the Riven's making a little bit of a mistake. Is already down to what is that, a quarter HP.
Yeah, so that is the power of the PTA plus the passive coming out from that Irelia. She's able to get so much early game damage, especially if she's able to land a stun. And she didn't have her passive stacked up all that much at that point, and she nearly killed the Riven. Now we do see the Ignite down on the Irelia, still up for the Riven, although Riven does not have her flash. So if the Riven is not able to heal up here, are using both of her refillable potions versus we still have a potion over on the refillable side the corrupting side for the Irelia, as well as biscuits are coming through over time. Irelia is going to stay very healthy. Bruce is going to have to look to be very careful not getting poked out in his lane and try and regen some health naturally. All getting a great stun and knock up under the tower, taking 2 tower shots as well as a full combo from the Riven, evening out the HP difference. Although we are going to get, like I said, we still have these potions ticking on the Aurelia. She's going to heal some of that damage back up.
Yeah, so I was gonna say the Riven could like all in and kill the Aurelia because Riven still has Ignite.
Yeah. You have to be very careful, and you have to watch the PTA there. If the PTA is procced against the Riven as well as a stun goes down, she's gonna take a lot of damage. It's gonna be very dangerous.
Yeah, but I think we're gonna potentially see it all in here. Both of them looking like for the perfect opportunity to go in. Looks like it's gonna be Riven.
Oh, there's a stun, and yep, the Riven takes the kill. First blood going to Bruza.
Yep, and there we go. So we're gonna head and take one more break before we get ready for the GG Leagues games, and we'll be back right after that. And I'm excited. This is the finals we've been working all semester long for, and we'll be right back.